Imagine you are sitting by a quiet lake. The wind is soft. The water is still. You breathe slowly, and for a moment, there is no pain, no worry, no stress. Just peace. Just silence. Just you. Imagine if your body, your mind, and your spirit could feel like that every day. Calm, clear, light. Imagine if you didn't need pills to feel better. Imagine healing not from the outside, but from within. What if the way you think could change the way you feel? What if your suffering wasn't something to fight, but something to understand? What if real healing started not in hospitals, but in your heart? We go through so much in daily life, aches that don't go away, tiredness that seems endless, worry that builds up quietly inside. We often ask, why do I feel like this? Or, will I ever feel like myself again? But few of us stop and ask, what is my body trying to tell me? Or, what is my mind holding on to? Take a simple example. A person carries a bag of stones every day. They say, my back hurts, but never consider putting the bag down. Life is that bag. Our thoughts are the stones. And healing begins when we gently let them go. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. This channel is a place to pause, reflect, and rediscover yourself. Here, we explore how ancient Buddhist wisdom can guide us to natural healing. So if you're someone who's been searching for peace in your body and clarity in your mind, you're in the right place. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. So please, like, comment your thoughts, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means everything, and your voice in the comments can help others on their path, too. In this journey, we won't talk about quick fixes. We'll talk about deep healing. Healing that stays. Healing that begins with understanding who you are, and how your mind and body are deeply connected. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is a part of life, but it also teaches us that we are not trapped by it. We are not broken. We are not weak. We are simply carrying too much for too long. Natural healing, through the eyes of Buddhism, is not about escaping pain. It's about learning from it. It's about seeing pain as a teacher, not an enemy. In the coming parts, you'll discover how Buddhist practices like mindfulness, meditation, breath, compassion, and simplicity can unlock real healing, healing that doesn't come in bottles, but in moments of clarity and calm. So take a deep breath. You've already taken the first step. The journey has just begun. Let's walk it together. Understanding suffering, the root of disease. When you wake up in the morning, do you ever take a moment to listen? To listen to what your body is telling you? The stiffness in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, or maybe the weariness in your legs. We are so used to these feelings that we barely notice them anymore. But what if these sensations are trying to teach us something? What if they are pointing to something deeper, something more meaningful? In the teachings of Buddhism, we learn that suffering is not just physical pain, it's the result of our attachments. We often think of suffering as something that happens to us, something that we need to get rid of. But the Buddha teaches that suffering is part of the human experience, and it arises from our desires, our attachments, and the way we resist the flow of life. We cling to things we think we need, the comfort of material possessions, the security of a job, the love of a partner. We resist change because it feels uncomfortable. We resist pain because it feels unbearable. But in all of this resistance, we create more suffering. We struggle against the natural flow of life, and, in doing so, we end up harming ourselves. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever resisted something in your life that you simply could not change? A situation, a person, an illness, or even the inevitable passing of time. The more you resist, the more it hurts, doesn't it? It's like trying to hold on to a wave in the ocean. The wave will eventually pass, but if you try to fight it, you will only tire yourself out. This is how we treat our suffering. We try to resist it, to fight it, to push it away. But what if instead of fighting suffering, we welcomed it? What if we stopped resisting and began to understand why we are suffering in the first place? This is where healing begins. True healing comes from understanding the root of suffering and learning to let go of our attachments to it. The Buddha called this the first noble truth. Life is suffering. It sounds harsh at first, doesn't it? But the truth is, when we accept that suffering is a part of life, we stop struggling against it. We stop making it worse. It's only when we resist that we increase the pain. But when we acknowledge suffering and accept it without fear, we begin to see it for what it really is, a teacher, a guide, a path. Every ache, every discomfort, and every pain that we experience can show us something about ourselves. When we stop labeling these feelings as bad, we can start to learn from them. Pain is simply a signal. It's a message from the body, urging us to pay attention, to slow down, to shift our perspective. Let's take a moment to reflect. How many times have you ignored your body's signals? Perhaps you've pushed through the pain of an injury because you didn't want to be seen as weak. Maybe you've ignored your emotional state, telling yourself you'll deal with it later, only to feel overwhelmed later on. What if you took a different approach? What if, instead of ignoring or resisting the discomfort, you paused and listened? What if you allowed yourself to truly feel whatever is present? This doesn't mean giving in to suffering, but rather acknowledging its existence without judgment. When we stop labeling pain as bad, we create space to learn from it. This is the foundation of natural healing. We are not trying to escape our pain. We are trying to understand it, to see it with clear eyes, to know that every moment of discomfort is an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. Buddhism teaches that suffering is not something we must fear. In fact, it is often through our suffering that we learn the most profound truths about ourselves. When we stop running from pain and start facing it, we find that it loses its power over us. Pain no longer controls us. We control how we respond to it. The second noble truth goes even deeper. It teaches us that suffering arises from desire and attachment. Our desires are not inherently bad. They are a natural part of being human. But when we become attached to them, when we expect things to be a certain way and resist change, we create suffering. We cling to the past, to what we think should be, instead of accepting what is. This doesn't mean we stop wanting things or stop striving, but we learn to let go of the attachment to outcomes. We learn to let go of the need for everything to be perfect or the way we think it should be. We stop chasing after fleeting pleasures that can never truly satisfy. Instead, we embrace simplicity, gratitude, and contentment. Take, for example, the way we view our health. Often, we are attached to the idea of being healthy in a specific way. We want to look a certain way, feel a certain way, or be a certain age. When we don't meet those expectations, we suffer. But what if we shifted our focus? What if we stopped measuring our health by external standards and began to honor our body for what it is, right now? What if we accepted the natural changes of life, knowing that they are a part of our journey? When we stop chasing perfection, we begin to heal. We begin to honor our bodies and minds exactly as they are. This is the practice of non-attachment. It's not about giving up or resigning ourselves to suffering. It's about releasing the need to control everything. It's about surrendering to the present moment, knowing that we are enough, just as we are. This is the essence of Buddhist healing. It is not about finding a magic cure or escaping discomfort. It is about shifting our mindset, understanding our suffering, and embracing life as it comes. It is about releasing attachment to outcomes and finding peace in the present moment. And when we can do this, we start to heal not just our bodies, but our minds and spirits. We begin to heal from the inside out naturally. This is the power of Buddhist wisdom, and it is available to all of us, right here, right now. So, the next time you feel pain, whether it's physical or emotional, remember, it is not your enemy. It is not something to be feared. It is a teacher. And if you listen closely, you will find that it has something important to show you. Healing begins when we stop resisting and start understanding. Healing begins when we accept the natural ebb and flow of life and all that it brings. In this way, we can move toward true peace and true health in mind, body, and spirit. The power of mindfulness in physical and emotional healing. When you sit quietly, close your eyes, and focus on your breath, what do you notice? Do you hear the sound of your heartbeat? The gentle rise and fall of your chest? For many of us, our daily life is a blur of noise, distraction, and rushing from one task to the next. We forget what it feels like to simply be. But imagine if you could change that. Imagine being so present in every moment that you truly felt alive, not just existing, but fully experiencing each breath, each sensation, each feeling. This is the power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is not a complicated practice. It's a return to simplicity. It's about being in the moment, without judgment, without rushing, just observing what is happening right now. Mindfulness has the remarkable ability to heal. It heals the body, it heals the heart, and it heals the mind. But before we explore how it works, let's understand something crucial. When you are not present, when your mind is constantly in the past or future, your body follows. Stress builds up, your muscles tighten, and your immune system weakens. We feel anxious, angry, or sad, but often we don't know why. It's because we are not fully aware of our thoughts or emotions. We are disconnected from ourselves. When we practice mindfulness, we reconnect. We notice the subtle sensations in our body, maybe tension in our shoulders, maybe a flutter in our stomach. We notice our thoughts. Are they calm? Are they anxious? And we notice our emotions. Are we holding on to anger, sadness, or fear? The key is not to judge what you feel, but to observe it. The more you observe, the more you understand. In Buddhist teachings, there is a saying, the mind is everything. What you think you become. Mindfulness brings us back to our thoughts. It allows us to see them clearly, without the cloud of distraction. And when we see them clearly, we can choose whether or not to hold on to them. This is not about ignoring negative thoughts or emotions. Instead, it's about giving yourself permission to let them be. When you stop resisting them, they often lose their power. Think about it. When you're upset, don't you often get more upset when you try to push the emotion away? But when you sit with it, feel it, and let it pass, the grip it has on you weakens. Now, let's talk about how mindfulness affects the body. When we are stressed, anxious, or upset, we often carry that tension in our bodies. We might clench our jaw, tighten our fists, or hold our breath. Over time, this becomes a habit. The body begins to store this tension, and this can lead to physical problems, headaches, back pain, fatigue, and even illness. But when we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice these physical sensations as they arise. We feel the tightness in our chest, the discomfort in our back, the tension in our jaw. Then, we breathe deeply. We relax. We release. And over time, the body learns to let go of this built-up tension. There is a beautiful practice in Buddhism known as body scan meditation. It's a simple but powerful technique. You slowly bring your attention to each part of your body, from your toes to your head. As you move through your body, you notice any tension or discomfort. You don't judge it. You simply breathe into it and allow it to relax. This practice can help you release physical pain and prevent it from building up. But mindfulness is not only about physical healing. It also heals the emotional body. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts and emotions influence your body? Maybe you've had an argument, and your stomach feels tight for hours afterward. Or you've been worried about something, and you can feel your shoulders tense. Our emotions create physical sensations, but those same physical sensations can affect how we feel emotionally. Mindfulness allows you to observe this connection. When you feel stressed, anxious, or sad, mindfulness helps you notice the physical symptoms in your body. By paying attention, you can begin to let go of the emotional weight that comes with them. You can shift your focus from the emotions themselves to the sensations they create. You begin to separate the physical from the emotional, and as you do, both begin to heal. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is its ability to bring awareness to the present moment. So often, we are caught in a cycle of thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We think about a mistake we made yesterday, or we imagine a problem that might come up tomorrow. This constant cycle of thinking can create stress, anxiety, and sadness. But when we practice mindfulness, we bring ourselves back to now, to the present moment. In this moment, everything is okay. In this moment, you are okay. The present moment is where healing happens. It is where your body can relax. It is where your mind can let go. It is where you can begin to feel peace. And the more you practice mindfulness, the more you begin to notice that peace is always there, beneath the surface. You simply need to return to it, again and again. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like a garden. If we tend to it with care and attention, it can grow beautiful flowers of peace, joy, and compassion. But if we leave it unattended, weeds of stress, anger, and fear will take over. Mindfulness is the act of tending to that garden. It's the practice of clearing the weeds and nurturing the flowers. And just as a garden needs daily care, so too does the mind. It needs time, patience, and attention. But the benefits of mindfulness extend far beyond the mind and body. They extend into the very fabric of your life. When you are present, you are more compassionate. You are more understanding. You are more patient. This not only helps you heal, but it helps you heal your relationships. When you are present with others, when you listen without judgment, when you react with kindness and understanding, you build stronger, more loving connections. In Buddhist teachings, there is a focus on right intention, acting with good, compassionate intentions in all things. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to act with right intention. You begin to act from a place of calm, clarity, and compassion. This brings healing not only to you, but to everyone around you. So, how do you begin? The simplest way is to take a moment. Right now, right here. Take a deep breath. Notice how your body feels. Notice the sounds around you. Notice your thoughts. Are they rushing, or are they calm? Just observe. You don't need to change anything. Just be with what is. As you move through your day, bring that awareness with you. Take a moment to pause. Breathe. Notice. You'll be amazed at how these small moments of mindfulness can change everything. Remember, healing is not a destination. It's a journey. And mindfulness is the path. One step at a time, one breath at a time. If you stay present, if you stay mindful, you will heal, not just your body, but your mind and your spirit as well. The role of karma in energy and health. Healing is not just about what happens in the body. It's not only about the physical aches or the sickness that we feel, but also about the deeper, unseen forces that shape who we are and how we experience the world. These forces are called karma and energy. They're the unseen currents that flow through our lives, affecting our well-being in ways we often don't understand. Karma, in simple terms, is the law of cause and effect. It is the idea that every action we take, every word we speak, every thought we entertain, sends ripples into the world. These ripples come back to us, sometimes in ways we can't predict. In the same way, the actions and thoughts of others affect us too. But the most important thing to realize is that karma is not punishment. Karma is not about some cosmic judgment. It is simply the result of our actions, a reflection of our past choices and their consequences. Now, you may wonder, how does this relate to healing? It's simple. If you have been living with negative thoughts, thoughts of anger, fear, or resentment, those thoughts can create a kind of blockage in your energy. They can create patterns of pain in your body, even if you don't realize it. And when those negative thoughts are repeated over and over again, they become like an invisible weight, pressing down on your mind and your body. These patterns are a result of karma, of past actions and thoughts that have left an imprint on your energy. But here's the good news. Just as negative actions create negative karma, positive actions create positive karma. By changing our actions, by shifting our mindset, by choosing kindness over anger, compassion over resentment, we can start to heal. We can start to change the way our energy flows. It's like changing the current in a river. By choosing to direct the flow of your thoughts, actions, and energy in a positive direction, you can transform your health. Healing, according to Buddhist teachings, begins when we realize that we are the creators of our own karma. Every choice we make, whether it is a kind word or a harsh judgment, affects us and the world around us. If we want to heal, we must begin by healing the way we think, the way we speak, and the way we act. But healing is not something that happens overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes patience. And the first step in healing is becoming aware of how our karma is affecting our health. This requires us to look inward, to reflect on the ways we might be holding on to negative thoughts or unresolved emotions. It requires us to be honest with ourselves and ask, what have I been carrying that no longer serves me? What patterns of thought and behavior am I holding on to, even though they cause me pain? Once we begin to understand the role of karma in our lives, we can begin to shift the energy around us. You see, energy is not just some abstract idea. It is a very real force, one that flows through us and connects us to everything around us. Our energy can be calm, or it can be turbulent. It can be balanced, or it can be chaotic. And just as our thoughts and actions influence our karma, they also influence the energy that flows through us. Think about it like this. If you've ever been around someone who is calm and peaceful, you may have noticed that their presence has a calming effect on you. On the other hand, if you've been around someone who is angry or anxious, their energy can make you feel uneasy. This is the power of energy. It's contagious. It flows through the spaces we share with others, and it has a profound impact on our health. But what is this energy, really? In Buddhism, we often talk about qi, or qi, the life force that flows through all living beings. It's the same energy that flows through the breath, the same energy that moves through the body as blood flows through veins. When we are in balance with this energy, when it flows freely and without obstruction, we experience health and vitality. But when our energy is blocked, when it is stuck due to unresolved emotions or negative thoughts, it manifests as illness or discomfort in the body. This is where the concept of karma becomes important. If our past actions have created blockages in our energy, then healing begins when we start to clear those blockages. But how do we clear them? It begins with awareness. Becoming aware of how our thoughts and actions are affecting our energy. And then, with this awareness, we begin to make different choices. One of the most powerful ways to change the flow of energy is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, of observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment and without attachment. When we practice mindfulness, we start to see how our thoughts create patterns of energy. We begin to notice when we are holding on to negativity, when we are dwelling on past hurts, when we are caught in a cycle of worry or fear. By observing these patterns, we can begin to let go of them. We can begin to release the energy that no longer serves us. This is where healing truly begins, when we let go of the old, stagnant energy and make room for new, fresh energy to flow through us. But healing also requires us to act with intention. It's not enough to just think about healing. We must choose to heal. This means choosing actions that align with the energy we wish to cultivate. If we want to heal our body, we must choose to nourish it with healthy food, with exercise, with rest. If we want to heal our mind, we must choose to fill it with positive thoughts, with gratitude, with love. In the end, healing through karma and energy is a process of transformation. It's a process of moving from a state of imbalance to a state of balance. It's a process of clearing away the old, negative patterns and making room for new, positive energy to enter. In this transformation, this healing, does not just affect us as individuals. It affects the world around us. When we heal ourselves, we heal the collective energy of the world. When we choose kindness over anger, compassion over judgment, we create ripples of positive energy that extend far beyond ourselves. So, the next time you feel pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, ask yourself, what energy am I holding on to? What karma am I carrying? And how can I release it to make space for healing? The answers to these questions may not come all at once. Healing is a journey, not a destination. But with every step, you move closer to balance. You move closer to peace. You move closer to a life of true healing. And that, my friend, is the power of karma and energy and health. Compassion is medicine, healing through kindness. In the stillness of your heart, there is a deep knowing. The world does not need more anger, more judgment, more hate. It needs kindness. It needs compassion. But often, we forget this. We are too busy with life, too focused on our own pain, and we lose sight of the healing power of love. Think about it for a moment. When you are kind to others, how does it make you feel? It feels good, doesn't it? There's a warmth that rises within you, a sense of purpose, a sense of peace. You may have noticed how, after you do something nice for someone, there's a shift in your energy. Your heart feels lighter. You feel connected to something greater than yourself. This is the medicine of compassion. But healing through compassion goes beyond just helping others. It begins with you. It begins by being kind to yourself. Many of us spend years in a cycle of self-criticism. We look in the mirror and see imperfections. We judge ourselves harshly. We ask, why can't I be better? Or, why am I not enough? This negative self-talk eats away at our spirit. It drains our energy. And it makes us forget that we, too, deserve kindness. We deserve to be gentle with ourselves. Imagine a life where you wake up each day with a heart full of love, not just for others, but for yourself as well. A life where, no matter the challenges you face, you approach them with understanding and patience, instead of anger or frustration. Imagine how much lighter your body would feel, how much easier it would be to heal. The path to healing starts with this compassion. Compassion is not about grand gestures. It's not about giving away everything you have or solving everyone's problems. It's about small, simple acts of kindness that ripple out into the world. It's about being present with someone, truly listening to them without judgment. It's about a smile when someone feels down. It's about a gentle touch when someone needs comfort. These small acts are powerful. In Buddhism, compassion is a fundamental part of the practice. It's not just a nice thing to do, it's a necessity. When we practice compassion, we are not just helping others. We are also helping ourselves. There is a Buddhist concept called metta, which is often translated as loving kindness. It is the intention to wish for all beings to be free from suffering, to be happy, and to be at peace. When you cultivate metta, it becomes a healing force, not only for others but also for your own heart. But why is compassion so powerful in healing? It's because it shifts our perspective. When we show kindness to others, we take the focus off of our own pain. We stop identifying so strongly with our suffering, and instead, we recognize the shared experience of being human. We realize that everyone, including ourselves, has struggles. Compassion reminds us that we are not alone. There is an old Buddhist teaching that says, if you want to be happy, be kind. It sounds simple, but it holds profound truth. When we are kind to others, we open the door to our own happiness. We realize that we do not need to seek happiness from external sources. It is already within us, in our capacity to love and care. And as we nurture this kindness, we begin to heal, not just emotionally, but physically as well. Studies have shown that acts of kindness can actually lower stress levels, improve heart health, and boost the immune system. When we are kind, our bodies release feel-good hormones like oxytocin and serotonin, which help to lower blood pressure, reduce anxiety, and promote a sense of well-being. Kindness is not just good for the soul, it's good for the body, too. But true compassion is not always easy. It can be difficult to show kindness, especially when we are hurting or feeling overwhelmed. We may feel as though we have nothing left to give. But this is the paradox of compassion. The more we give, the more we receive. The more we open our hearts to others, the more our own wounds begin to heal. This doesn't mean that we have to solve everyone's problems or take on their burdens. It simply means offering our presence, offering our understanding, and offering our love. Compassion is about being a safe space for others to feel heard, to feel seen, to feel cared for. And in doing so, we create a safe space for ourselves as well. One of the most powerful Buddhist practices for cultivating compassion is meditation. In the quiet of meditation, we can focus on sending love and kindness to ourselves, to others, and to the world. This practice is called metabhavana, or the cultivation of loving kindness. You begin by focusing on yourself, wishing yourself happiness and peace. Then, you move outward, sending these wishes to loved ones, to acquaintances, and even to those you may find difficult to love. With each breath, you extend compassion to the world. Over time, this practice helps to soften our hearts. It helps to dissolve the walls we have built around ourselves in fear or anger, and it allows us to step into a state of pure love and healing. Healing through compassion is also about forgiveness. To truly heal, we must let go of old grudges, old pain, and old resentments. Holding on to anger only keeps us trapped in the past. But when we forgive, we release the hold that pain has over us. We free ourselves from the chains of bitterness, and we open ourselves to the possibility of peace. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or pretending that hurt didn't happen. It simply means letting go of the need for revenge, letting go of the idea that holding on to anger will make us feel better. It's about accepting that we can't change the past, but we can change how we respond to it. By forgiving, we set ourselves free, and in doing so, we heal. It is through compassion that we begin to understand that healing is not a solitary process. It is interconnected. When we heal, we help heal the world. When we show kindness to others, we inspire them to do the same. And in this way, the cycle of healing continues. The practice of compassion is the practice of life itself. It's in every interaction, every conversation, every moment. When we choose compassion, we choose healing. When we choose kindness, we choose to step into the flow of life, where everything is connected and everything is healing. So, take a moment today to be kind to yourself, to others, to the world around you. Even the smallest act of kindness can spark a profound healing journey. Whether it's a word of encouragement, a smile, or a moment of silence for someone who is suffering, know that your compassion is medicine. It is the most powerful form of healing we have. And it begins with you. Detachment and letting go, freeing the body through the mind. There is a simple question in the world of Zen. What is it that you are holding on to? We all have something. Perhaps it's a memory, a grudge, or even a habit that no longer serves us. It could be fear, anger, or past pain. We hold on to it, thinking it will keep us safe, thinking it is part of who we are. But in reality, it is not part of us. It is a weight we carry, burdening our hearts and bodies. Imagine for a moment that you are holding a stone in your hand. The stone is heavy at first, but as you hold it for a while, you begin to get used to the weight. Eventually, it becomes so familiar that you forget it is there. You don't notice how much it hurts your hand, or how it restricts your movement. You simply accept that this stone is part of your life. But what if you let it go? What if you freed your hand, even for just a moment? In life, the stone is your attachments, the things you cling to, the things you cannot let go of. It might be your past, your worries about the future, your anger towards someone, or your own self-doubt. These things weigh on us, but we become so accustomed to carrying them that we don't even realize how much they hurt us. Just like the stone, we don't see how much they restrict our peace of mind and our ability to move freely through life. This is the core teaching of detachment. Letting go is not about rejecting life, or the things you care about. It's about realizing that your true nature is not defined by the things you hold on to. Your true nature is free. It is like the wind, always moving, always flowing, never attached to one place or one form. When you let go of your attachments, you make space for freedom. You create room for new experiences, new insights, and new growth. Letting go does not mean you have to forget everything or erase your past. It means you learn to carry your experiences lightly, with awareness and understanding. It means you acknowledge the past without allowing it to dictate your present. Your past is not a chain that binds you, it is a teacher. It shows you what has been, but it does not need to be the source of your identity. The Buddha spoke of the importance of releasing attachment, not because attachment is inherently bad, but because clinging to things, people, or ideas can keep us stuck. Imagine that you are holding a flower in your hand. You love the flower, You admire its beauty, but if you hold it too tightly, it will wither and die. The flower needs space to breathe, just like your life needs space to flow freely. When we cling to something too tightly, we stifle it. We stifle ourselves. But when we let go, we allow ourselves to be open, to change, and to grow. In the practice of mindfulness, we begin to notice where we are holding on. We begin to see that it's not just our minds that are full, it's our bodies too. Tension, tightness, discomfort, they are all signs that we are holding on to something we need to release. The body and mind are deeply connected. When we carry emotional burdens, our bodies carry the weight too. You may feel tightness in your shoulders, a heaviness in your chest, or pain in your back. These physical symptoms are often the result of mental and emotional attachments. We hold on to the past, and our body reflects it. But when we learn to release attachment, our bodies can relax. We can breathe deeper, move more freely, and find ease in our lives. The practice of letting go is a practice of freedom. It is the freedom to be present, to be open to life as it is, without the need to control it. It is the freedom to stop fighting against what has happened, and to simply allow it to be part of your story, without letting it define your future. This is the wisdom that the Buddha taught. Suffering arises when we cling, when we hold on to things that are impermanent. Life changes. People change. Circumstances change. Holding on to something that is constantly changing only causes us pain. But when we understand that change is inevitable, we can accept it. We can let go of the need to control every outcome and trust that life will unfold as it should. Letting go is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. It is not about rejecting the world or people, but about understanding that nothing is permanent and nothing is truly ours to possess. We can love without attachment. We can care without control. We can live without fear of loss. When we let go of the need to possess, we open ourselves to true connection. We connect with others, with life, and with ourselves in a way that is pure and unburdened. At first, letting go might feel difficult. You might feel like you are losing something valuable, like you are abandoning part of yourself. But in truth, you are only making space for something more valuable: peace. Peace comes when you stop fighting, when you stop holding on so tightly. Peace is the natural state of being when you allow yourself to simply be. When you practice letting go, you will find that the more you release, the lighter you feel. Your body will relax. Your mind will clear. And you will discover a deep sense of freedom. The freedom to live in the present moment, to embrace life as it is, without the weight of the past holding you back. Detachment does not mean indifference or coldness. It simply means you are free to love, to live, and to experience life without fear of losing it. It means you can enjoy what you have while knowing that nothing is permanent. This understanding allows you to fully experience life, without the fear of loss or the attachment to outcomes. Let go, not because you must, but because it will bring you peace. Let go, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to live without holding on. Let go, because in doing so, you free yourself. You free your body from tension. You free your mind from worry. You free your heart from fear. And in that freedom, you find healing. The Buddhist path is one of liberation. Liberation from suffering. Liberation from attachment. Liberation from the constant cycle of craving and clinging that keeps us trapped in the past. When you let go, you step into the lightness of being. And in that lightness, healing can begin. It begins in the mind, and it flows into the body. So, ask yourself now, what am I holding on to? What is the weight you are carrying? And can you, just for today, choose to let it go? It may take time. It may take patience. But with each moment you release, you move closer to the freedom that is always waiting for you. In letting go, you create space for something new, something better, something true. And in that space, you begin to heal. The breath of life, pranayama, and Buddhist breathing practices. In the quiet of the early morning, before the sun rises, you can hear it, the breath of the earth. It's gentle. It's steady. It's constant. And it is the same breath that moves in and out of your lungs right now. But how often do you really pay attention to it? How often do you pause to notice the rise and fall of your chest, the air flowing through your nostrils, the life flowing into you and through you with each breath? You see, we often take our breath for granted. It's a part of us that we rarely give much thought. We breathe in and out, automatically, with no effort or attention. But what if I told you that within the very act of breathing lies a key to unlocking profound healing, not just in your body, but in your mind and soul? In the teachings of Buddhism, breath is not simply a physical act. It is a doorway, a bridge between the body and the mind. It is a reminder that we are alive here, in this very moment. And with each breath, we have an opportunity to return to this moment, to ground ourselves in the now, to heal what needs healing, and to release what needs to be released. Think about it for a moment. When we are stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, what is the first thing that happens to our breath? It becomes shallow. It becomes fast. It's as though our breath is trying to run away from the very discomfort we're feeling. But when we are at peace, when we are calm, our breath slows down. It deepens. It flows smoothly, effortlessly, in perfect rhythm with the pulse of life itself. Buddhism teaches that we must learn to reconnect with our breath, not just to breathe, but to breathe with intention. When you sit quietly and pay attention to your breath, you are reconnecting with the energy of life. You are breathing in the present moment, and in doing so, you begin to let go of the past, you begin to release the worries of the future, and you open yourself up to healing. There is a practice in Buddhism called anapanasati, or mindfulness of breathing. It's a simple, yet powerful practice. You don't need special tools or a fancy setup, just your own breath, your own presence. You sit quietly, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. As you inhale, feel the coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils. As you exhale, feel the warmth as it leaves your body. With each breath, allow yourself to become more aware, more present, more alive. This practice of mindful breathing helps you center yourself. It calms your mind and creates space for clarity. And as you become more aware of each breath, something begins to happen. You start to notice how the breath connects to your emotions, your thoughts, and your physical body. You realize how much tension you've been holding, how much stress you've been carrying, simply because you haven't been aware of your breath. But now, as you focus on it, you begin to release that tension. The breath becomes a tool for healing. It becomes a way to reconnect with yourself and with the world around you. Breathing is not just an automatic function of the body. It's a reflection of our state of mind. And by learning to breathe with intention, we begin to bring our mind into harmony with our body. We start to heal the wounds that lie hidden beneath the surface. The Buddhist practice of mindful breathing is a way of letting go of what no longer serves us, whether that be negative thoughts, past hurts, or physical pain. As you breathe in deeply, you can almost feel the healing energy moving through you. And as you breathe out, you let go of the weight, the burdens that have been holding you down. In Buddhism, breath is also seen as a way to connect with the universal energy that flows through all things. When you breathe, you are not just taking in air, you are taking in the very life force of the universe. With each inhale, you receive nourishment from the earth, from the sky, from all that exists. With each exhale, you release what no longer serves, and make space for new possibilities, new energy, and new healing. But there's another layer to this practice. In many Buddhist traditions, there is a concept called pranayama, which is often associated with the control of breath. Pranayama is the practice of consciously manipulating the breath to balance and heal the body and mind. It is about using the breath to regulate your inner energy, to open your body's channels, and to bring peace to your spirit. Pranayama is not about controlling the breath in a rigid or forceful way. It's about finding balance, learning to breathe deeply, slowly, and in harmony with your body. One simple pranayama technique is the alternate nostril breathing. By gently blocking one nostril and breathing in through the other, then switching, you create balance in your body. You calm your mind and clear away any emotional blockages. The beauty of breath work is that it is always with us. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, our breath is always available to us. It's free, it's natural, and it is our most powerful tool for healing. You don't need to go anywhere special or buy anything expensive. All you need to do is pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and reconnect with the life that is already within you. In Buddhism, the breath is often seen as a mirror of the mind. When we are stressed or anxious, our breath reflects that. When we are calm and peaceful, our breath reflects that too. And just as we can calm our mind through breathing, We can also bring our breath into balance by calming our mind. With each mindful breath, you allow yourself to be present. You allow yourself to heal. You allow yourself to grow, to release, and to embrace the healing that is already happening within you. And as you breathe, remember that you are not just healing yourself. You are reconnecting with the energy of the universe, with the life force that flows through all things. You are becoming one with the breath of life itself. So take a moment now. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Feel the coolness, the life force entering your body. And as you breathe out, feel the tension, the stress, the worries leaving you. With each breath, you're healing. With each breath, you're returning to yourself. This is the gift of breathing. This is the power of mindfulness. This is the healing that comes from within. Let this simple practice be your foundation, your anchor. Let it be the tool that guides you back to yourself, to peace, to healing. Because in the end, it's not just about breathing. It's about how we choose to live with each breath we take. Meditative journeys, realigning the mind, restoring the body. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this: a busy, chaotic world outside, filled with noise, distractions, and endless thoughts racing through your mind. Now, imagine stepping away from all of that. Just for a moment, you find a quiet place. A peaceful corner where you can sit in stillness. The noise begins to fade, and all that's left is your breath. This is the power of meditation, the ability to find peace and healing in a world that often feels loud and overwhelming. It's not just about sitting in silence. It's about learning to listen to the quiet within, to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level. This inner stillness is where healing begins. When we talk about meditation, most people think of monks sitting in lotus positions for hours, or perhaps some form of practice that feels too complex or distant. But meditation, especially in the context of Buddhist teachings, is far simpler than that. It's not about following rigid rules. It's about being present. It's about returning to your true self, where you are whole, where you are connected, and where healing happens naturally. Let's take a moment to understand the role of meditation in healing. The mind and body are not separate. What happens in the mind reflects in the body. When we are stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, our body feels it. Tension builds in the shoulders, our breath becomes shallow, and our heart races. The body doesn't lie. It shows us the effects of our mental state. So when we begin to calm the mind, the body follows. Imagine you're carrying a heavy bag filled with all the worries, regrets, and fears of your life. Every day you carry it, getting used to the weight. You forget it's there, but the strain is real. The moment you sit down, close your eyes, and simply begin to breathe, something starts to shift. Slowly, without effort, the weight begins to lift. You don't need to do anything extraordinary. Just breathe. This is what meditation offers: space to release the heavy load. By focusing on the breath, you send a signal to your nervous system that it's safe to relax. When we focus on something as simple as the air entering and leaving our lungs, we redirect the mind from its endless chatter. Instead of worrying about tomorrow or regretting yesterday, we come back to the present moment. And it's in this moment where healing takes place. But meditation is not just about sitting quietly. It's about cultivating mindfulness, the practice of being fully aware of the present moment. When you are mindful, you stop judging yourself, your body, or your experiences. You stop rushing through life and start experiencing it. In this space, there is no right or wrong. There is simply what is. When you approach life with this kind of presence, the body begins to relax, the mind starts to clear, and the heart feels lighter. The beauty of meditation lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require special tools or years of practice. All it asks is that you give yourself permission to stop, to breathe, and to listen. It's a practice that can be done anywhere, on a quiet morning, during a break at work, or even in the middle of a busy street. The key is to create moments of stillness, to connect with the rhythm of your own breath, and to be present with what's happening in that very moment. Think about the last time you felt truly relaxed, when the tension in your body dissolved, and you felt at peace. Perhaps it was during a walk in nature, a warm bath, or simply sitting in silence. That feeling of calm, of being fully present, is what meditation can bring. It's not something that happens once in a while. It's something that can become a part of your everyday life. With practice, you can carry this sense of peace with you wherever you go. Meditation also opens up space for self-awareness. As you sit with yourself, you begin to notice the thoughts that arise, the emotions that surface, and the patterns that repeat. You become a witness to your own mind, without judgment. This awareness is powerful because it allows you to break free from automatic responses. Instead of reacting to stress or pain, you learn to respond with calm and clarity. You learn to let go of what no longer serves you, making room for healing and transformation. In Buddhism, meditation is often referred to as a path to enlightenment, but it's also a path to wholeness. It's the practice of returning to your true self, beyond all the labels, roles, and expectations that the world places upon you. When we meditate, we are not trying to become someone else or achieve some ideal state of being. We are simply returning to who we already are, complete, whole, and connected. The impact of meditation extends far beyond the moments you spend in stillness. The benefits ripple out into every area of your life. When you meditate regularly, you begin to feel more grounded. You become more aware of your body, its signals, and its needs. You start to notice when you're holding tension, when you're feeling stressed, and when you need rest. You develop a deeper connection to yourself, and as a result, you become more attuned to the needs of your body and mind. Healing through meditation is not about forcing change or trying to fix something that's broken. It's about allowing the body and mind to restore themselves naturally. By giving yourself the space to be present, you create the conditions for healing to unfold. The more you practice, the more you'll find that your body starts to release stored tension, your breath becomes deeper, and your mind becomes clearer. What you once thought of as a problem, whether it's physical pain, emotional turmoil, or mental fog, begins to dissolve on its own. So, take a moment now. If you're sitting, feel the weight of your body in the chair or on the floor. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale slowly. Notice how your body feels. Notice the rise and fall of your chest with each breath. With each inhale, bring in peace. With each exhale, let go of stress. Allow yourself to simply be. This practice, though simple, is incredibly powerful. It's not about achieving anything or striving for a goal. It's about allowing yourself to return to a state of balance. It's about creating harmony between the mind, body, and spirit. And with time, you'll discover that the more you practice, the more natural it becomes to live with this sense of peace, clarity, and health. Meditation teaches us that we don't need to go anywhere to find healing. We don't need to search for answers outside of ourselves. The answers, the peace, and the healing are already within us. All we need to do is to quiet the noise, tune in, and listen. This is the power of meditation. The power to realign the mind. The power to restore the body. And the power to heal naturally from the inside out. Food is dharma, eating to nourish, not just survive. Sit down with me. Let us take a quiet breath together. Have you ever looked at your food, not just as a meal, but as a sacred moment? Every grain of rice, every piece of fruit, every drop of tea, they carry the story of the earth. Rain that fell from the sky, sun that warmed the soil, hands that worked the land. All of it in one bite. When we eat, we are not just feeding the body. We are connecting with the whole world. Yet how often do we eat with rushing minds and restless hands? How often do we swallow without tasting, chew without thinking, finish without noticing? Food has become fast, but healing is slow. In Buddhism, eating is not separate from practice. It is the practice. To eat is to honor life. And to honor life is to care for your own. The food we choose, the way we cook, the way we sit, the way we chew, this is not just habit. It is a mirror of our mind. When we eat with stress, the body holds tension. When we eat with sadness, the stomach tightens. But when we eat with presence, with full awareness, the body opens. It receives. It heals. Many people ask, what should I eat to be healthy? But before that question, ask this. Why am I eating? Is it hunger? Boredom? Habit? Pain? If we do not listen, we cannot heal. The body speaks. Sometimes in whispers. Sometimes in aches. You see, when you eat only to fill a space, the food becomes heavy. But when you eat to nourish, the same food becomes light. Energy flows not only from the nutrients, but from the state of your heart. You could eat a perfect meal with a troubled mind and still feel unwell. But you could eat a simple bowl of rice with deep presence and feel alive. The Buddha taught the middle way, not too little, not too much. This applies to food. Too little, and the body grows weak. Too much, and the body grows tired. But in the middle, there is balance. That balance is where peace lives. Many people after the age of 45 begin to feel changes. Digestion slows, energy dips, cravings shift, and sometimes fear comes in. What should I stop eating? What if this food harms me? Should I follow this diet or that one? Let the mind quiet. The body already knows. It is not always about rules. It is about rhythm. Nature has a rhythm. The seasons change. The crops grow. The sun rises and falls. We are not separate from that. The more we align with nature's rhythm, the more our bodies feel whole. Wake with the sun, eat when you are truly hungry, and stop when you are gently full. Let dinner be early, and let rest come easy. Choose fresh food, colorful food, food that has life in it. Not just calories, but vitality. Buddhists often begin meals with a simple reflection. I receive this food with gratitude. I am aware of the suffering that made it possible. I eat to strengthen my practice and help all beings. This is not just poetry. This is medicine for the spirit. Even one meal a day, eaten in silence, with full attention, can change how your body feels. It is not the quantity of food that matters most. It is the quality of your presence while eating it. You may remember times in your life when you were younger, perhaps, when a simple meal brought so much joy. Not because of ingredients, but because of feeling. You were surrounded by family, or sitting in nature, or simply grateful. That feeling is healing. That is the nourishment we have forgotten. The Zen way is not to label food as good or bad. Food is not the enemy. Desire is not the enemy. Unawareness is. The way to heal is not to fight cravings, but to understand them. When you slow down, chew slowly, breathe between bites, and smile softly, you are already healing. Let the kitchen become your temple. Let the act of cooking be sacred. You don't need expensive tools. You don't need rare ingredients. What you need is care. When you wash rice, wash your thoughts. When you chop vegetables, slice away your worries. When you stir the pot, breathe slowly and bring your mind back home. We often say, we are what we eat. But even more deeply, we are how we eat. If you bless your food with gratitude, eat it with peace, and digest it with joy, your body becomes lighter, your mind becomes clearer, and your spirit begins to rise. In some temples, monks eat in silence. They hear only the sound of chewing. It may seem strange, but in that silence, a great respect grows. Respect for the food, respect for the body, respect for life. And slowly, something changes. The pain in the stomach softens. The tightness in the chest loosens. The fog in the head lifts. Why? Because we are finally listening. Your body is not a machine. It is a garden. And food is not just fuel. It is sunlight, rain, and soil. You must feed it gently. You must not punish it. You must not ignore it. To eat with awareness is to say, I care for myself. I forgive myself. I begin again. And so, next time you eat, even if it's just a small piece of bread, pause. Look at it. Smell it. Feel it. Thank it. Then eat, slowly. And let your healing begin, one bite at a time. We eat not just to live, but to awaken. This is the way of food. This is the way of Dharma. And this is how we heal. Healing through silence and sacred rituals. In the fast pace of life, we often forget how powerful silence can be. Every day, we are surrounded by noise, external noise, like the hum of traffic or the buzzing of a phone, and internal noise, the constant chatter of our own thoughts. This noise builds up, layer upon layer, and over time, it overwhelms us. We lose touch with our true selves, and in the process, we forget the power of stillness. Silence, however, is not merely the absence of sound. It is a presence, a space where the mind can rest. In the silence, we reconnect with the deepest part of ourselves, the place where healing begins. Buddhism teaches us that it is in silence that we can truly listen. It is in silence that we can hear the whispers of our body, mind, and spirit. You see, silence isn't just about shutting off the world. It is a practice, a way of tuning into what is really important. In our silence, we begin to hear the messages that life has been sending us all along. The body speaks to us through pain, fatigue, or discomfort. The mind speaks through worry, doubt, and confusion. But when we sit in silence, we can start to understand the wisdom of those messages. We no longer need to drown them out with distractions. Instead, we listen deeply and learn. This practice of silence is essential for healing. It is within this quietude that the body can finally relax. When we stop rushing, when we stop forcing ourselves to act and achieve, we create space for healing energy to flow. In silence, we can also heal our emotions. The anger, the grief, the frustration that we carry, these too can be heard when we sit in stillness. They no longer have to consume us. Through silence, they can be understood, accepted, and released. But silence alone is not enough. There is also great power in sacred rituals. Rituals are a way of focusing our energy, creating intention, and reconnecting with the divine, or with the natural world, or simply with the present moment. Buddhism and many spiritual traditions use rituals as a tool for healing and transformation. These rituals are not mere acts of tradition, they are acts of mindfulness. When we perform a ritual, we are reminded to be present. Each movement, each action, is done with intention. Whether it's lighting a candle, offering incense, or bowing in gratitude, each act carries meaning. Through these rituals, we bring our awareness back to the present moment, to the beauty of being alive. This presence allows us to heal, because healing can only happen in the now. The past cannot heal us, and the future is uncertain. But in this moment, in the ritual, we can find peace. Consider the simple act of breathing. In Buddhism, breathing is more than just an automatic function. It is a sacred ritual. With each breath, we acknowledge the preciousness of life. With each inhale, we welcome peace. With each exhale, we release tension, stress, and all that no longer serves us. This ritual, done mindfully, is powerful. It helps to bring us back into harmony with our body and mind, allowing the natural healing process to begin. There is also the ritual of sitting in meditation. When we sit in meditation, we are practicing silence and stillness in its purest form. We allow the mind to settle, and in that quiet, we reconnect with our true nature. Meditation is not about stopping thoughts, but about observing them without attachment. We allow the mind to be as it is, and in doing so, we free ourselves from the constant pull of our thoughts and emotions. Through meditation, we create a space of inner calm where healing can naturally unfold. Healing through silence and sacred rituals is not about escaping the world. It is about returning to ourselves. It is about finding peace amid chaos and clarity amidst confusion. In a world that constantly demands our attention, silence is a gift. And in the rituals of life, we find the tools we need to heal, grow, and transform. You may be thinking, but how can silence and rituals help with my pain or struggles? The answer is simple, because when you are able to listen to your body and mind, and when you perform rituals with intention, you open yourself to the possibility of healing. You create space for transformation. Pain, both physical and emotional, arises from being disconnected from our true selves. It comes from resisting what is. But through silence, we accept what is. We face our suffering with courage and clarity. We allow ourselves to heal. The journey is not always easy, and there will be times when the silence feels heavy or when the rituals feel repetitive. But these moments are the essence of the practice. They teach us patience, humility, and the importance of perseverance. Through these practices, we learn that healing is not a destination, but a journey that begins with a single breath, a single moment of silence, a single act of ritual. So, as you go through your day, take moments of silence. Pause. Breathe. Be present. Engage in simple rituals that bring you back to yourself. These moments may seem small, but over time, they will add up. They will transform the way you experience life. And, bit by bit, you will find that the pain that once seemed so overwhelming begins to ease. The mind that once felt cluttered and chaotic becomes clear. The body that once felt heavy with tension becomes light. Healing in this way is a gradual process. It is not something that happens all at once, but something that unfolds over time. And it begins with the choice to listen to the silence, to the rituals, and most importantly, to your own heart. When you do, you will discover that healing is not just possible, it is inevitable. So, let silence be your guide. Let ritual be your companion. And as you walk this path, may you find the peace and healing that are always within you, waiting to be uncovered. The final return, embracing wholeness and continuing the journey. At last, we come to the end of this journey. But in reality, it's not an end at all. It's a beginning. Life, like the river, flows on, and our healing journey continues. What we've learned is not something to hold on to tightly. It's not something to finish and put away. It's something to carry with us in every breath, every step, every moment. You see, in Buddhism, there's this beautiful idea of impermanence. Everything changes. Everything comes, and everything goes. And yet, even in this constant flux, there's a thread of continuity, a thread of life. Just like the seasons change, our bodies and minds are in a constant state of change. One day we may feel strong, the next day weak. One day we may feel peace, the next day frustration. But through it all, we remain. Our essence remains. Now, I want you to take a moment to reflect on something deeply personal. Think about the struggles you've faced, the times when you felt overwhelmed, exhausted, or lost. And now, think about how you've come through those moments. You are here, aren't you? You are still standing. That strength is part of who you are. It is within you. It always has been. Healing is not a destination. It is a way of being. It is a practice. It is waking up every day and choosing to bring yourself back to the present moment. When you breathe in, you are healing. When you smile, you are healing. When you release the past, you are healing. Healing doesn't mean you will never face pain again. It means you can face it with wisdom, with calm, and with understanding. Buddhism teaches us that true peace comes from within. It is not something you can find in the world outside. The world may change, it may challenge you, but your inner peace can remain unshaken. When you learn to heal yourself naturally, you are not just healing your body. You are healing your mind. And when your mind is at peace, your body follows. That is the wisdom of Buddhism. The mind and body are inseparable. Now, let's talk about aging. It's something we all face, and it's often met with fear. But Buddhism offers a different perspective. Aging is not something to resist. It is something to embrace. As you grow older, you accumulate more wisdom. Your experiences deepen your understanding of life. You learn to let go of attachments. You realize that there is more to life than physical beauty or external achievements. True beauty is in the way you live, and the kindness you show, and the love you give. In your journey of natural healing, there will be times when you might feel you've lost your way. There will be moments when you feel unsure. But remember this, healing is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about each small step you take toward balance, toward peace, toward wholeness. Each day is an opportunity to begin again. Each moment is a chance to start fresh. And just as you've learned to heal yourself, remember, you also have the power to help others heal. Healing isn't just for you. It's a gift that extends to everyone around you. When you practice compassion, when you show love, when you share your wisdom, you are healing the world. Your journey of healing becomes a beacon for others to follow. As we reach this final part of our series, I want you to know something important. There is no final destination. There is no one moment when you are done healing. Healing is a lifelong process. It is the ongoing act of letting go of what no longer serves you. It is the act of embracing the present moment with all its imperfections. It is learning to live in harmony with yourself and the world around you. So, what happens now? Now, you take what you've learned and continue your journey. The path is yours to walk, and it is filled with infinite possibilities. You might find yourself returning to the teachings we've explored here, or you might find new paths to healing that resonate with you even more deeply. Either way, trust that you are on the right path. You have everything you need within you. You've always had it. The power to heal, the power to grow, the power to change. It's in your breath, it's in your thoughts, it's in your heart. Trust yourself. Trust your body. Trust the wisdom of your mind. And trust the healing power of the present moment. As we end this journey together, I encourage you to remember one thing. Healing is not about escaping suffering. It is about understanding it, learning from it, and finding peace within it. Healing is not about controlling life, but about living in harmony with it. And above all, healing is about love. Love for yourself, love for others, and love for the journey itself. Now, I want you to take a deep breath. Hold it. And when you exhale, feel the weight of the world release. Let go of the past. Let go of the worries. Let go of the pain. You are here, in this moment, whole and complete. And from this place of wholeness, you will continue to heal, continue to grow, continue to live fully. So, I leave you with this final thought. Healing is not a destination, it is the way you live. It is the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you love. It is a journey that never truly ends. It continues with every step you take. And in this journey, may you find peace. May you find strength. And may you always remember that the power to heal is always within you. This concludes our series on natural healing through Buddhist wisdom. Remember, this is just the beginning. The journey of healing continues, and you are not alone on this path. Let this be a part of your story, and may your story inspire others to begin their own. Thank you for walking this journey with us.